The face-off between the federal government and microblogging site Twitter has finally come to an end. On Wednesday, the federal government announced that it has lifted the suspension of Twitter operations in Nigeria, and by Thursday at midnight, telecommunications companies restored Twitter services in the country. This report gives a timeline of events from June 1, 2021 to January 13, 2022. It all began on June 2, 2021, when microblogging site Twitter deleted President Muhammadu Buhari's tweet where he threatened to treat misbehaving Nigerians in the language they understand. The post, according to Twitter, violates its rules. 2 days later, on June 4th, the federal government suspended the operations of Twitter in Nigeria indefinitely. Explaining the reasons for the action, the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, took a swipe at the U.S. media giant, saying its mission in the country is suspicious.
Twitter may have its own rules. It's not a universal rule. If Mr. President, anywhere in the world, feels very bad and concerned about a situation, he is free to express such views. We are not going to be fooled by anybody. We have a country to rule, and we'll do so to the best of our ability. Twitter's mission in Nigeria is very suspect.
What followed was a lineup of mass criticisms from Nigerians, the opposition party, human rights groups, as well as the international community.
Since Twitter has been suspended in Nigeria, have we seen a reduction in terrorist or illegal activities in Nigeria? We haven't seen that.
How government banning Twitter has in a sense done a disservice not only to itself but also Nigerians. NCDC was one government agency that made excellent use of Twitter. During the pandemic and post the lockdown, daily updates, weekly updates, DG Chikezu really did a really good job in using the platform to not only educate Nigerians but also to engage, to respond to issues, to debunk fake news.
Worried by this development, some top envoys from various diplomatic missions met with the federal government to find a solution to this lingering ban.
It is actually when you're in your most troubled times often that our need for individual expression, open public conversations, and accountability is perhaps even greater. But we are here as partners who want to see Nigeria succeed. We want to see this place in a unified, peaceful, and prosperous, and that's how all of our activities are arranged.
Well, why we've taken this measure is to see to what extent we can rebalance these media as forces of good and stop them being used as platforms for destabilization and facilitation for criminality and encouragement of criminality.
About 100 days after the suspension, the federal government pledged to restore Twitter services in the country.
We've engaged Twitter, both in writing. We've engaged Twitter. We set up a technical committee to engage Twitter. They set up their own committee too. They have met virtually and they've exchanged correspondence about 3 times. And really, apart from dotting the I's and crossing the T's, we are actually almost there.
In his October 1st Independence Day message, President Buhari assured that he has approved for the suspension to be lifted once the conditions set by the federal government are met.
Twitter Incorporated reached out to the federal government of Nigeria to resolve the impasse. Subsequently, I constituted a presidential committee to engage Twitter to explore the possibility of resolving the issue. The issues are being addressed, and I have directed that the suspension be lifted, but only if the conditions are met to allow our citizens continue to use the platform for business and positive engagements.
About 3 months after this broadcast, President Buhari approved the lifting of the suspension on Twitter effective from January 13, 2022. Some of the conditions met by Twitter include legal registration of operations, taxation, and managing prohibited publications in line with Nigerian laws. Fulashade Ogrinde, TV 360 News.